Let's talk about Teams. So in this session, we're going to talk a bit about the most frequently asked question for Android.
Background, and not just background, custom background.
Phones?
Exactly.
I think, what was it, back in 19 or 20 or something like that? It was first time we got, just in the beginning when Android was coming out, say, yeah, it will come, and was being promised. And well, now a couple of 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, but the thing is, you also need to think about how is it done, right?
That is the key point here. It's not like Windows where you just can put on a file, because
you don't have a file manager in the same way, so...
Imagine you make a file share on your Android device. I mean, all security people just go crazy that you have something. So it makes perfect sense, but it's just something that seems so easy for the end customers that it's just a picture. How difficult could it be?
Yeah. I have the same thought.
Yeah, exactly, how difficult could it be? But now it's here. And it's not just for the monitor, it's also for the controller.
Yeah.
And as we speak, it should be generally available, or at least rolling out to tenants for the panel, the scheduling panel. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's quite nice. I mean, like from when I talk to some of the Microsoft people and say, why is that so important? And I mean, it's for the features on the Teams rooms, it doesn't make any difference. But from each and every customers that like the branded background,
they can brand it. They can put a short guide in the middle how to do this. It makes perfect sense. I mean,
for me, it's we saw it with Windows, and then Microsoft changed something, and then people have put up some guidance and so on. Now it was covered by the calendar.
Yeah, it was upgrading with the shared UI. That's
How difficult is it to change the background on Android now versus on the Windows? Because if something changes in...
So easy.
So much easier, I would say.
If you are configuring everything from Teams Admin Center and Room Portal, where you're using profiles and so on, the right way of doing it, the Microsoft way, where you have all your settings in profile, you just have profiled all your devices. You go into that profile and say, now it's this picture you need, and now it's that one you need. So it's just a file upload. So I mean, if we should talk about the architecture, is that it's a profile where you upload your file to, and then Microsoft is doing its magic in the back end and putting that one out.
So it's the same where you put in the schedule for when it's working hours, etc.
Exactly, working hours, what country. Exactly. So it's the same configuration profile where you just have them, and you don't need to have a custom background.
So then with the custom profiling, you will actually be able to differentiate which background you will have.
Exactly, so you can one in Germany and one in China and one in Russia.
And one in one floor and the other one in another floor, right?
So you can differentiate.
This is blue floor, this is red floor, etc. So
you just need to remember that don't go crazy, because I mean the profiles need to put up. So let's say that you have 5 meeting rooms in Denmark, for example. Don't create 5 policies just for that if you have 1,000 rooms, because I mean,
come on,
it will not. Try to see if you can limit. But of course you could do it in theory, but it will just make an administrative hell.
Yeah, and I think that's an important thing. Don't go crazy because you can do it. Don't go and do it. But I think it's important to understand that the configuration profile within Android, you need to go to the Teams Admin Center, under devices, Android devices, and then use the configuration profile. And I admit that I still see a lot of customers that don't even have the configuration profile.
I see that as well.
Which doesn't make sense at all, because, I mean, this is where you do all the configurations to your devices.
I think it's because people that have been working with the room system and are working with them 80-100% of the time, have seen the configuration profile when it came out. And to be honest, there were a lot of limitations. I mean, it was, I think it was 5-10 lines or something like that, and you can configure something with IP. It was kind of working. No, it took some time. It took some time to push it out. I mean, if you see it nowadays, you have everything. Not everything, but you have close to everything in it. I mean, even
for Android, because Windows is
that's a different ballgame.
We still use the Skype XML for that one.
Or the Pro Portal.
But I saw that Ilya just answered somebody on LinkedIn that it will come in the future, that it will be more like the Android version on Windows.
And as we know, Ilya have promised that for 4 years that we'll get the custom background.
So let's say in 4 years we will have it on the Windows.
2028 we'll have it now. But a funny thing that before we start recording, Lars and I was talking about it, and there are some documentation on that picture that you need to put in, and a nice schoolboy I've been, I'm sitting and studying and seeing it needs to be this much pixel by that much, and try to move it correctly and so on, and cried a little when it didn't fit perfectly and so on. And Lars was saying, I just took a high resolution picture and put it in, and it just looks great and so on. So you don't need to be as fussy as I was doing. I was really down to pixels by pixels.
Yeah.
It's created that it scales. It scales, and of course you need to make sure that it scales the right way, so don't get, but it's scaling.
Yeah, I think the most important thing to consider is that Microsoft provided some templates depending on your setup. And that's quite important, because when I just added the background picture on my controller, even though it was for 1080p, it scaled perfectly fine. But our company logo was behind the QR code, and that's something that a marketing person wouldn't like.
So you need to find the
you need to go and find your template. You need to go and look at which setup do I have. Do I have dual screen? Do I have a single screen? And then again, you have a template for the front of room screen, and you have another one for the console itself.
And that makes sense.
And 2 different monitors. If you have monitors not duplicate, if you just load up one picture, it will be on both of them. But if you have a dual monitor setup, not camera of course, then you will have 2 pictures that you can put up, because again, they are placed different on the setup.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the minimum requirement, that is mainly due to the resolution, that it needs to be a minimum resolution.
So it doesn't scale
so
up.
It doesn't take a 4K screen and then scale it up to 720p or the opposite way around. Yeah.
And very nice is the best Microsoft. I mean, we really have to thank Microsoft for finally, everything related to Teams. When we upload a file, there's a description, minimum size, maximum size, minimum resolution. So, and that's actually well described.
File format probably also.
Also, which one is supported. One thing I don't get, and maybe I need to think a little more about it, but I was uploading the picture for the panel outside, and there's a minimum size of 100K. Why do we have a minimum size? I mean, the scheduling was right, pixel was right, everything, but I need to go back and think about why it makes sense to have a minimum size of the picture, but
that could be due to quality, depending on how the image is created or which format it is.
But I just want one with my logo in the back, just a black screen. I mean, I think it was 30K or something like that. So there was a lot of stuff being put on top of that picture for minimum 100K. But there probably is a valid reason why I was just sitting and saying, that's stupid. But
But I think it's really cool that we finally have it now.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think it's really important that we understand the configuration profiles and how we use them. And then again, you can create different backgrounds, but you need to do it in a different configuration profile. So then again, back to the naming of the configuration profiles, starting to make more sense to make sure that the naming of the configuration profile is correct.
Understand. And one very important thing you said there, that was you need to understand profile, because if you haven't been using profile before, you just upload a profile, just go down custom background, throw it up, then we have a problem.
Exactly.
Because then we will change everything to that profile. So that's just a little hint, but
and that's one of the things like I experienced when I tried that as on Windows, when what's it called, one-time passcode. When you did that, that changes for the account, which also means that the Teams panel outside
signing out. Exactly. Exactly. So, know what you're doing.
Know what you're doing, or hire the people that know what you're doing or what they're doing. Okay, but there was quite some nice features with custom background for Android finally here. This is Let's Talk About Team. My name is Lars, Michael and Carsten, and thanks so much for watching. See you out there. Bye.
See you.